main part. Okay, and for few weeks, by the time the pandemic gets over, corona gets over, we will be continuing with online classes. So once we get back to normal stage, we will start with the offline mode. So by that, till that time, what you can do is you please attend online classes, and we will be taking attendance. That will be monitored strictly. Okay. Okay. Now till now we have 46 students, or 47, approximately 46 or 47. Okay. So the strength will be around 140 or something. Okay. So we will wait another 10 to 15 minutes, or say another 5 minutes, so that few more students can join the session. So we'll wait for another 5 minutes. Then we will start with the session. Okay. Please wait. Please wait. Okay, we will go ahead with the introduction class. So there are 43 students approximately. Okay. So I'll be sharing the screen. If you have any difficulties, you can please click on the chat box and comment for your difficulties. Okay. So we will start. Fine. And if by chance if you have any difficulties, what you can do is you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. Is that clear? If you can unmute yourself, okay, and you can ask questions if you have any difficulties. Okay. Okay. So please comment yes in the comment box so that we can start. And one more thing, some students, I think they are not aware of this Google Meet. Please do not click on present now. Now Pratik Marve has clicked on present now. Pratik, please do not click on present now, or all the students, please don't click on that. Okay. So somebody, who is this Pratik? Okay. Pratik,
Yes, sir.
you don't present. Exit from the present now option. Yes, good. Okay. So coming back, the subject name is Turbo Machines. Okay. The subject code is 18ME54, and we have course learning objectives. Please, you can go through the course learning objectives. So I will be speaking about the content of the module 1 in brief, module 2, then module 3, okay, then module 4 and module 5. So for today's class, we will just go through the contents. Okay. And for this subject, we will be referring majority of the part will be referring this Kadambi Prasad book, Vedant Kadambi and Manohar Prasad book. Okay. And for maximum of the syllabus, we will be referring this book, and we'll be referring this another book, Dr. M.S. Govindegowda and A.M. Nagaraj. Dr. M.S. Govindegowda and A.M. Nagaraj. Okay. And we'll be referring this book also, B.K. Venkanna. Okay. So these will be the books which we will be referring for the subject. And I hope you know about the question paper pattern. For 18 scheme students, there is no change. Continuous internal evaluation, we have 40 marks. Semester end examination 60 marks, and examination hours will be 3 marks. Okay. Now, with respect to module 1, in the module 1, you will be learning about the turbo machines, the definition of turbo machine, and the general parts of turbo machine, and we'll be comparing turbo machine and a positive displacement machine. So then we'll be going through the classifications of turbo machine or general machines, then turbo machines, and some classification about positive displacement machines also. Okay. Then after this, we'll be learning about some part of Reynolds number, then dimensionless parameters and their significance. So we'll be learning about Reynolds number, and we'll be learning some quantities which are useful in predicting the performance of a machine, such as unit quantities and specific quantities. And we'll be studying also about the model studies. I think you have learned in your previous semester that model studies, model and prototype. Okay. And we will be solving a few numericals. Okay. We'll be solving some numericals also. Please wait. There is some issue. Yes. So I was referring to the screen, and I was referring to the screen, and I was talking. I think the screen was not visible. Let me just brief it once again. The subject name is turbo machine, and the subject code is 18ME54. And internal marks, we have 40 marks. You have to write 3 internals. Semester end examination marks is 60, and examination will be 3 hours. These are the course learning objectives. Okay. Please go through them. Then we'll be initially starting with module 1. For today's class, I will just brief about the syllabus, what we have in module 1 to 5. Okay. So in module 1, I was telling that we will be learning or understanding the turbo machine and its definition and its parts, general parts of a turbo machine. Then we have positive displacement machine. We will be just understanding what is a positive displacement machine, and we will be differentiating between a positive displacement machine and a turbo machine. Okay. So then we will be studying okay. Then we will be studying about some dimensional parameters, dimensionless parameters like Reynolds number, and we'll understand significance of the Reynolds number. Then we will be studying some important quantities like unit and specific quantities, which are helpful in predicting the performance of a machine, especially turbo machine. Okay. Then we will be studying about model and model studies. Model studies is, I think you have learned it in previous semester, which is model and prototype, similitude study, where we'll be going through the kinematic and geometric, kinematic and dynamic similarities. Okay, then we will be taking up some numericals. Okay, and apart from this, we will be solving a particular problem, which is Buckingham's pi theorem. We will be applying dimensionless analysis to general fluid flow problem. That is one more point. Okay, that we will see when we take up the actual topic. Okay, then this is second topic, thermodynamics of fluid flow. Some of the things already it is mostly related to thermodynamics. So here we'll be studying about some of the efficiencies. Okay, and we'll be studying about static and stagnation states. So this we will be taking up after the completing the main part of the turbo machine. Okay, then in module 2, this is very important. Module 2 is about velocity triangles, which is slightly difficult part, but at the same time, if you understand, it is very easy. Okay, so in module 2, initially we will understand the three-dimensional application of velocity triangle to a turbo machine, how the velocity triangle can be drawn. Okay, and what is the use of the velocity triangles. All these things we'll understand in this unit. With the help of velocity triangles, we can find out work done and many other performance parameters of a turbo machine. So this is another method other than conventional method. In applied thermodynamics, I think you have found out efficiency of a engine, efficiency of a gas turbine, and work done. So here also we can find out efficiency and work done with the help of turbo machine or this velocity triangle concept. So we'll understand that how to find out the work done and efficiency and other performance parameters of a turbo machine. Okay. First, in module 2, we'll be learning about energy exchange in turbo machines. So initially, we'll be going with Euler's turbine equation. Okay. Then we will be continuing with the alternate form of Euler's turbine equation. Then we will understand how to draw velocity triangles. Okay, this is main thing. If you understand the velocity triangle concept, then the subject will be very easy. Okay, I'll make sure that you will understand the velocity triangles in a very easy way. Okay, so about velocity triangles, we will study in detail and we'll understand each and every parameter in a detailed way, so that there is no problem in understanding the velocity triangles. And once you understand the velocity triangles, then the subject is very easy. In fact, you can apply this velocity triangle concept to further modules also, module 3, module 4, module 5. So this is very important. Once you understand this velocity triangle concept, then the entire or the remaining part of the subject is very easy. Okay, so this is very important. We will be dealing this in detail. Then we have topics related to the velocity triangle and the other parameters, where we'll be studying about degree of reaction. Okay, degree of reaction, it is indicated by R. We will see it later. Then we'll be dealing with components of energy transfer, degree of reaction, utilization factor. Okay, I think utilization factor, the general meaning you can guess it. Utilization means how much we are using it. Okay, if 100% is available, out of 100%, how much we are utilizing, maybe in 80%, 70%. So that is nothing but utilization factor. If you are using say 70%, 30% is waste. So our utilization factor is 70%. Okay, so something like that. Then relation between degree of reaction and utilization factor. There is a small derivation kind of thing is there that we will do it. Then we will be solving some problems. Okay, which are related to velocity triangles. Okay, then coming to general analysis of turbo machines, here we will understand different velocity triangle concepts, like what if it is a radial flow machine, what if it is a axial flow machine. Okay, all these things we'll understand in this module. So this is radial flow compressor and pumps general analysis. So basically pumps and compressors, they are also turbo machines, but they are power absorbing turbo machines. Okay, power absorbing turbo machines. Okay, so that we will discuss in some time what is this power absorbing. Then we'll be applying this general analysis to this specifically pumps and pumps and compressors. Then we have some derivation of expression for degree of reaction, then the velocity triangles for different values of R. Then we have a small derivation on this effect of blade angle on energy transfer and degree of reaction. Okay, then blade for performance. Then again, here we'll be applying for axial flow pumps and compressors. So initially, the application of velocity triangles to radial flow machines, here it will be for axial flow machines. Okay, then again same thing, we'll be considering for axial flow machines the degree of reaction and velocity triangle part. Just wait for a minute. Okay, students, I think some of you are facing difficulty in screen. What you can do is you can click on my ID, my login ID. You can click on that, or you can pin it. You can you can pin the Srinath Ghiwari sir ID.
There are 3 IDs.
There are 3 IDs. Okay, you please click on Srinath Ghiwari sir ID. Okay, Mallikarjun, sorry, Malikiran Sheikh. You please click on, or you pin the active presenter, which is Srinath Ghiwari ID. Praveen, don't click on present now. Come out of that. Don't click on present now. Please come out of that. See, now I think my screen is visible to few students. See, now Praveen here is presenting. You click on stop presenting. Praveen, click on stop presenting. Praveen, you are there? I hope now this is clear. You have to click on, or you have to pin the active presenter who is presenting. Is that clear? Others, I hope everybody can see the screen. See my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, great. I hope the difficulty is solved. I hope everybody can see the screen. Yes. If you have any difficulties, you can please use that comment box. Okay. So once we understand the general analysis part, then we can use the same concept of the velocity triangle to the actual application part. We can use it to analyze a steam turbine, okay, and we can use it to analyze this steam turbine, and we can use it to analyze hydraulic turbine, as well as in hydraulic turbine already have learned this thing in your previous semester, that is Pelton wheel, Francis turbine, Kaplan turbine. Okay, then we'll be studying in module 5 centrifugal pumps and centrifugal compressors. Okay. Okay. Now I was talking about power absorbing turbo machine, power generating turbo machine. Okay. Now what is a power generating turbo machine? We should have an idea of that power generating turbo machine. I hope the paint screen is visible. Please type yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, great. So power generating turbo machines. Now, initially we will get a question, what is this power generating turbo machine? Okay. So before defining turbo machines, initially we understand a power generating turbo machine. Then again, we will discuss some of the syllabus content. Okay. I hope power generating word everybody can understand. Power generating means a device which generates power. Okay. Can some students give examples of power generating machines? Can unmute and tell. Power generating machines. We have steam turbine, correct?
Water pump.
We have water pump. Actually, water pump is not correct. Actually, it should be hydraulic turbines, correct? We have steam turbine, gas turbine, hydraulic turbine. Wherever we can generate power, those machines are called as power generating machines. Okay. So in that, specifically, we will be studying or we will be restricting ourselves to turbo machines. So here we will be using this word power generating turbo machines. Means it is a device where we can generate electricity. That is nothing but power generating turbo machines. Okay. I hope steam turbine is a power generating machine. We have hydraulic turbines which are power generating machines. Then we have gas turbines also. But among them, we have nuclear, we have wind energy where we get electricity, but we will restrict ourselves to turbo machines discussion. So first we will understand what is a turbo machine. Okay, so that is next part. Then we have, I used another word, power absorbing. Okay, power absorbing turbo machines. What is this power absorbing turbo machines? Okay, please wait. Okay. So the first part is clear, that is power generating turbo machines, then power absorbing turbo machines. So what are these power absorbing turbo machines? So power absorbing, as the word clearly indicates, these devices or these machines are absorbing power. Okay, we just discussed that pump and compressor. A pump is a power absorbing turbo machine. It is a power absorbing turbo machine because to run a pump we need electricity supply, correct? Then we have compressor. To run a compressor we need to supply electricity or we need to supply power. So thus, these types of machines are power absorbing turbo machines, correct? So we have a pump, we have a compressor. Other than these pump and compressor, do we have any other examples? Students, please can you tell, other than pumps and compressors, are there any examples of power absorbing turbo machines? Power absorbing turbo machines.
Blowers.
Blowers, great. Then in day-to-day life, you can see no fan in your home. Fan is a power absorbing machine. Now you don't worry about turbo machine. Just you can name few machines which are power absorbing type. Blower is there, fan is there. Then we have
Mechanical tractors. Pumps.
pumps, correct. Then so these all machines which require power for their working, they are power absorbing. So this is the basic difference between power generating and power absorbing turbo machines. Okay. So for our convenience, we will be using this PGPM. PGPM is power generating turbo machine. Okay. For power absorbing, we will be using this symbol PAPM. So PGTM is power generating turbo machine. Okay. PATM is power absorbing turbo machine. Okay. We will be using these two words, power generating, power absorbing, many times. You should know the meaning. I hope now the meaning is clear. It is very simple. Power generating means one machine which generates power. Okay. Then another one is power absorbing, a machine which consumes power or it requires power for its functioning. It is a simple definition. Okay. So that is the definition of power generating and power absorbing. Okay. And if you see the syllabus, in a module 2, you will be generally analyzing. About a turbo machine, and after the understanding of this general analysis, we will be applying it to steam turbine. Correct. Now, steam turbine is a power generating turbo machine. Correct. So in steam turbine, we have reaction turbine. So we'll be studying about reaction turbine also. I think about steam turbine, you already studied in EME part that in steam turbine we have impulse turbine. Correct. We have reaction turbine. Okay. So we'll be studying some parts of steam turbine. In the steam turbine, we'll be studying about impulse turbine and reaction turbine. And in first year, I think in first year in your EME syllabus, you have learned about compounding also. Correct. Compounding you have learned. So we'll be studying about compounding in this subject. Need and methods of compounding. I think you have learned about compounding. We have velocity compounding, we have pressure compounding, we have pressure velocity compounding. So all these things. Okay. And in steam turbine, we have two types, impulse and reaction turbine. Okay. So again, in impulse and reaction, we have classification that we will see it later. Okay. Then again, in steam turbine, we will be defining certain parameters, nothing but utilization factor, we will be defining it, and we'll be doing a small derivation. Okay. Okay, you can see here, expression for maximum utilization factor, and we'll be solving certain numericals on this. Okay. And also we'll be doing a derivation for condition for maximum blade efficiency. Okay. Also stage efficiency. Okay. So again, before going to the actual part, we'll be understanding each and every term. What is blade efficiency? What is stage efficiency? All these things we'll understand. Okay. So again, we'll be studying the same thing in reaction turbine. In reaction turbine, first we have to define reaction. Okay. So we have 50% reaction turbine, we have 100% reaction turbine. So that we'll see later, what is 50%, what is 100%. Okay. So reaction turbine means it depends on degree of reaction. So degree of reaction, we use the symbol R. Okay. So if R value changes, if R is 50%, we call it as 50% reaction turbine. Okay. If R is 100, we say it is fully reaction turbine or 100% reaction turbine. If R is 0, we will say it as impulse turbine. Impulse turbine. Okay. So that degree of reaction is very important. So we'll define it and we'll understand exactly what is degree of reaction. Okay. So steam turbine is a power generating machine. Then we have in module 4, we have hydraulic turbines. Again, hydraulic turbine is a power generating machine. Okay. So in steam turbine, we will be heating the water in boiler. We will be converting it in steam. Means we will be changing the phase of water to steam. Okay. But in hydraulic turbine, how do we get electricity, or how the energy conversion takes place in hydraulic turbine is, initially we will find a source of water which is at some height, correct? Like we have Joke Falls, their water is already available at some height, correct? So we have water stored at some height, that is nothing but the potential energy. So using that potential energy, we can generate electricity.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Okay. I think that is due to network issue. Okay. So let me continue. I think hydraulic turbines. I was telling about somewhere the source of water is available naturally at some height, means already the potential energy of water is available. So that potential energy of water we can use and generate electricity. So you can name a few of such stations. We have Joke Falls. Nearby we have Gokak Falls. Okay. So this is there we have potential energy directly available. Okay. Or what we can do is, if you have water source, good amount of water source, we can construct a dam. You can construct dam and you can store water and you can generate electricity. So that is also another option. Or in some places they
Not
they
audible
construct.
clearly, sir.
Wait, I will check. Please, I think for other students it is audible, no? They should not.
It's audible. Audible.
Okay, great. Some students are facing difficulty. Maybe it is at their end. Maybe it may be network issue or it may be the device problem. So please make sure that you are in a good place where the network is available. Now again, Pranay, please click on stop presenting. Yes, good. Okay, let me continue. I think my screen is visible now. Is the screen visible? Okay. Yes. Okay. So I was talking about hydraulic turbines. So I was telling about that in some places the water is available at some height. I hope you can understand why Joke Falls is used for generating power, because their water is available already at some height. So that height can be utilized to run a wheel, correct? Wheel, or you can say a turbine, correct? So when water strikes that turbine or exactly turbine blade, then the entire turbine or the turbine wheel starts rotating, and that rotational energy is converted into electricity by using synchronous generator. So that is how we convert the hydraulic energy of water, which is in the form of potential energy, to electric energy. So again, based on water availability, quantity of water available, the head of water available, we have classification, that is Pelton turbine or Pelton wheel. We have Francis turbine, we have Kaplan or propeller turbine. Okay, so we have different classifications. It is based on the head available. Head means the height height of water from the turbine where you have installed the turbine. Okay, so just I will show you it on the paint so that you get a fair idea. Let's assume that this is your turbine. Turbine or wheel. Okay, so we have water source here. Okay, so what happens, we will be using some source, and what we will do is we will make this water to follow this path, correct? And I think you can see this pointer. So if you see this pointer, so water will start from here. Okay, water will start from here where we have water here. It is a water source. It can be, it may be naturally available, or it has been created artificially, okay, by constructing dam or some other source. So this is the water source, correct? So what happens? Water will start from here and it will come down and it will strike the wheel blade and the wheel starts rotating. So this is how generally conversion of this potential energy of water. So we have here water available at some height, we call it as PE, potential energy, correct? Once the water starts moving, then we will see the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy, correct? Then when it hits the blade, the wheel starts rotating. The wheel starts rotating at certain RPM. So that we call it as rotational energy or mechanical energy. Rotational in the form of mechanical energy. So this mechanical energy is converted into electricity with the help of generators, different types of generators. We will synchronous generators will be used to convert this. So this is how conversion of energy takes place in hydraulic turbine. Now this if I mark from this point to this point of where the water is striking the blade, so this point you can take exactly, you can take this point, or let me highlight that point. Okay, so exactly we can take this point, sorry. So I am talking about this point where the water is striking the blade. So this point, so the height between the two, this distance we use the word head. So this will define, the head will define the amount of energy. Head will define the amount of energy. So head, for this we will use the symbol small h or capital H, depending on some authors they use small h, some authors they will use capital H, but we will be using capital H for our convenience. So if the head available is more, automatically we will get more power generated. Okay, so I hope you know the equation. Power P is equal to, we have rho QGH, correct? Or WGH, where W is equals to rho into Q. Sorry, W is equal to rho into G. Slightly increase the font. Okay. So W is rho into G, correct? Rho value, I hope you know that rho is density of fluid. I hope everybody knows. So rho is density of fluid. What is the density of fluid? What is the density of fluid? That water. Here in hydraulic turbine we'll be using water. What is the density of water? Can anyone tell? Density of water? 1000. Not one. It's 1000, no? 1000 kg per meter cube.
Sir, 1000.
That's great. It is 1000. So the density of water is 1000 kg meter cube. Correct, no? Okay. So this is rho. I don't know how to write rho here. Please wait. So this is the symbol rho. So actually W is rho into G. So the value of W is how much? You have used this in your previous semesters. You have used this, no? What is the value of W, which is rho into G? Can anyone tell the value of W? Is rho into G. The value of W is, what is the value of G? Okay. So that is G is rho into, sorry, W is rho into G. So what we are doing is 1000 into 9.81. So which comes out to be 9810. So G is, gravitational constant, acceleration due to gravity, 9.81, and this 1000 is density of water. So it is 9810. Okay. And what is the unit? The unit?
Newton per meter cube.
Okay, correct. It is Newton per meter cube. So this is the value of W. I think in fluid mechanics you have used this many times. You will be familiar about this. Okay. So here I have used small h. Okay. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this where I have used small h. Okay. So this small h, it can be capital H also. It can be capital H. So this, if it can be small h or capital H. If head, this, if h or head, if it is more, then the power generated will be more. It is as simple as that. Is that clear? So based on head available, we have options to choose. We can choose Pelton turbine, or we can choose Kaplan turbine. We can choose Francis turbine. So when we actually start the topic, then we will understand based on head how we choose the turbine. So that is why we have options. We have options like Pelton, Kaplan, and Francis. So if the head available is more, which turbine to select? If the head available is less, which turbine to select? So if you understand this, then you can easily select and you can design or you can refer a particular power plant to install. Okay. So in Gokak Falls, the head and the quantity of water available is not not more, or it is less compared to Jog Falls. Correct? No. In Jog Falls, we have head available more. Also, the quantity of water available is more. So in Jog Falls, we have a particular type of turbine, and the same type of turbine is not useful in Gokak Falls. There we have to use another type of turbine. So based on the quantity of water available, which is Q, discharge or quantity of water available Q, and head available H, we will be selecting the type of turbine. Okay. I hope this part is clear. So next, so we'll be studying these things. Along with this, we'll be learning about draft tube, and I think you'll be knowing this. Draft tube is used for only reaction turbines, not for impulse turbines. Okay. Again, in hydraulic turbine, Pelton wheel is impulse turbine. Okay. Francis and Kaplan are reaction turbines. Okay. And impulse turbine and reaction turbine, we will understand why we use for particular turbine the word impulse, and for some other type of turbines impulse. So we will understand that once we exactly start the module. Okay. Then in module 5, we'll be dealing with the centrifugal pumps, or we can say we'll understand the power absorbing turbo machines. We'll be understanding about power absorbing turbo machines. This is very easy topic, very easy, and most of the students, they prefer to attempt this question in main exam, and usually the problems or the concepts in this are very easy. So we have centrifugal pumps. I hope you can tell me examples of centrifugal pumps. Can somebody tell example of centrifugal pump? Or in day-to-day life, where you use this pump? Let it be any pump, centrifugal, axial, or any type of reciprocating, any type of pump. Please tell me where you have seen this, or where we'll be using this. We use it day-to-day life, in day-to-day life. Any examples for pumps? If you are commenting, motor. No, any particular type of pump. Grinder pump. Okay.
Multi-stage pump.
Okay. Any particular multi-stage pump? Yes. Any particular example you want to give where you see it in day-to-day life? Application. You have seen, no? General water supply. Okay. Let's suppose you want to pump the water from. You want to move the water from ground level to your floor where you have storage tank. How do you do it? Use a pump, no? Correct? You switch on the electricity supply button. Domestic water supply. In your home, say it may be 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor home. You have sink, or you have a water source at the ground floor where you'll be storing water. Correct? You want to pump it, or you want to move it to top floor. Correct? Once the water in the tank gets over, what you will do? You or your parents will switch on the button. Then what happens? The motor starts running. As the motor starts running, the pump starts working. Correct? First we have a motor there, then we have a pump. Is that correct? Water pump. So that I'm talking about a pump which you are using in your homes or in your day-to-day life. Correct? No? If the water at the tank, if it gets over, what you will do? You'll just switch on the button. Then water starts moving from the sink or ground or your water tank at the ground level to the top where you have water tank. Is that correct? Correct, no? In your day-to-day life, you use pump. Is that correct? How the pump is working? It is absorbing electricity or it is consuming electricity. Correct? So, consuming electricity. We have a motor there. The motor starts rotating and the pump starts running. So, what it does? It sucks the water from the tank, ground tank. It sucks the water from the ground tank. Then it pushes to the overhead tank. So we'll use the word ground tank and overhead tank, correct? Overhead tank is at the top floor. Ground tank is where you are storing the water, correct? So how it works? It is with the help of pump. Okay, it is with the help of pump. So there we use centrifugal pump. Correct, no? What is the meaning of fugal? We have centripetal and centrifugal. You have understood these terms? Okay, we will be using these two terms. Just we will discuss about them. We have centrifugal force. Correct? What is the centrifugal force? Please, can anyone tell? Voluntarily, can anyone tell? I assume or I understand that you people know this, so that it is very easy. What is centrifugal force? Can anyone tell? Some of you can unmute and tell. Please tell. Because these are basics which you have studied in your school level or in your PUC level. Great. Moving away from center. What about centripetal? Towards center. Correct. Okay. What you people are telling is correct. Centrifugal is it is moving away from the center, and centripetal is moving towards the center. Okay. Now we'll understand exactly what is that centrifugal and centripetal force. We will take a simple example and we'll try to understand. Okay. Okay. Assume that this is a wheel which is rotating. Is that clear? This is a wheel which is rotating. It may be clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay. This is a wheel and it is rotating. Maybe this is its center point. Okay. So this is rotating. Let us suppose it is rotating in this direction. Fine. So this is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Now, when a certain part of the machine or certain component is rotating or a particular wheel is rotating, we have two forces. Is that correct? So one force is centrifugal force, another force is centripetal force. When there is a component which is rotating or when there is something which is rotating, we have these two forces, centripetal and centrifugal. Okay. So only this comes into picture for rotating components, centrifugal and centripetal force. This thing comes into picture only when the parts are rotating. So as you told, centrifugal is which is moving away from the center. Centripetal is which is moving towards the center. Correct? So this is basically centripetal and centrifugal force. Centripetal and centrifugal force. We have both forces involved. Okay. Okay. So we were discussing about pump. Okay. Now we have hydraulic turbines and we have pumps. Both are exactly opposite. Is that correct? Yes, no? In hydraulic turbines, we already have a water source which is at some height. Correct? Imagine that is your overhead tank. Correct, no? Imagine that is your overhead tank. If I again just draw the picture, just to give an idea. Now, this is your overhead tank for pump. Okay, this is your ground tank. So just I'll name them. This is ground tank. Okay. This is your overhead tank. Sorry. Okay, no? So you know, this is the overhead tank. Okay, and this is your ground tank. Now, in case of centrifugal pumps or pump, what you will be doing? You will pump the water from here to here. Correct, no? Yes. Correct. In case of pump, we will be pumping the water from ground level to the overhead tank. Correct. Using motor and pump. So this arrangement is for pumps. Correct. Now, if you reverse it, assume that this overhead tank is your water source, is your water source. Correct, no? This is your water source. So this overhead tank is your water source, like Joke Falls. We have certain arrangement where the water will come down. Okay, come down in this direction, comes down in this direction. It will come down like this, and it is going to hit the wheel. It is going to hit the wheel. We will get electricity. So here the point is simple. Pump and hydraulic turbines, they are exactly opposite of each other. Correct, no? If you have water source, you can use it like a turbine. If you want to pump the water from a ground level to top level, you will be using a pump. So the point is, if you understand hydraulic turbines, understanding centrifugal pump is very easy. You need to reverse everything with small modifications. Is that correct? And even the velocity triangle also, if you modify the velocity triangle of a hydraulic turbine, you will get the velocity triangle for centrifugal pump. I hope the basic understanding of this explanation is clear. Pump and hydraulic turbines are exactly opposite to each other, correct? With slight modifications. Okay. Then we have centrifugal compressor. Correct. I think I hope everybody understands what is a compressor. I think everybody has filled the vehicle, not two-wheeler or four-wheeler tire air in petrol tanks, no? So that is nothing but a compressor, where compressed air, the normal pressure of air is 1 bar, correct? You will be compressing it to a higher pressure, then you will be filling it in tire. Correct, no? Filling it in tire, maybe tube tire or tubeless tire, you will be filling it in tire. Okay, there we will be using compressors. But how the compressors are working? Again, there we are using a motor and a mechanism to compress the air so that its pressure increases. For this case also we have velocity triangles. Okay. So this is just a brief about the syllabus, what all we will be learning. I hope it is clear. Initially we will be learning the introduction part of a turbo machine. We will define what is a turbo machine. Then we will be going through the general analysis part in the module 2. Then we'll be understanding about power generating. Module 3 and Module 4 are power generating turbo machines, and Module 5 is power absorbing turbo machines. Okay. Okay. Till this point, if you have any difficulties, you can ask, like what to refer, which book to refer, and if you have any other suggestions, you can suggest so that we can improve this. From tomorrow onwards, I'll be using slides and a combination of paint. Paint will be like our blackboard, so that it helps. Okay, till this point, you are comfortable? Tomorrow exactly means from tomorrow onwards, we'll be exactly discussing the syllabus. Initially, we'll start with exactly turbo machine. What is a turbo machine? Definition, its importance, other things we'll understand. Now, I hope everybody got a fair idea what is a turbo machine, correct? No? Turbo machines, they are machines. There are also machines where we have power generating and power absorbing, correct? No? Already you have studied machines. You have studied machines in your applied thermodynamics course. Here, we are studying the same things, but with a different interpretation. Here we are studying them with a different concept. That concept we call it as velocity triangle concept. Velocity triangle concept. Here everything is same. There is force involvement, the force, or there is conversion of energy from one form to another. Correct, no? In case of hydro turbines, we have potential energy of water getting converted into kinetic energy, then it is getting converted into electrical energy. So it is same, but we are introducing a new concept called velocity triangle concept, with which we can, calculate the terms like performance terms like work done, the efficiency. So we can calculate and we can predict, or we can, understand, or we can just get a fair idea what is the power that a machine can generate. In your previous ATD course, how did you calculate work done for a steam turbine? Can anyone tell how did you calculate work done for a steam turbine? Just recall. In applied thermodynamics course, we have found no work done. We have found efficiency. How did you find? Okay, I will tell you. In a problem, they used to give you pressure, no? They used to give you pressure at 2 points, correct? Boiler pressure, they used to give condenser pressure. Boiler pressure they used to give condenser pressure. Then you are asked to calculate work done of that steam turbine, correct? No? 10 bar pressure of boiler, 1 bar pressure of condenser. Not PdV. From the boiler pressure, you used to find out enthalpy, correct? No? You used to find out enthalpy, H. Then from condenser pressure, then you used to find out another enthalpy. So you used to call them H1, H2. Then you used to find out work done, H1 minus H2, something like that. You can recall, no? Are you able to recall? So that is how I have calculated work done in case of ATD, applied thermodynamics. But here we will be finding out work done in a different way. Where we will be using velocity of water, velocity of steam. So we will be using these concepts. I think Sachin, I think you are having problem with voice. Please check from your end once. There may be connection issue or something. Okay. So in this subject we will be using velocity of water or velocity of air or velocity. The main term is velocity, where with the help of velocities we'll be finding out work done and efficiency. Is that clear? It is same thing what you have done earlier. Here we will be doing it in a different approach. So first we have to understand that approach. Then it becomes very easy. Okay. So from module 2 onwards, we have a concept of velocity triangle introduced. That is very important. Okay. So prior to that, we need to understand the introduction part. What is a turbo machine and other things. Okay. So for today's class, I think this much is sufficient. From tomorrow onwards, exactly we will start with the definition of turbo machine and other things. Okay. What is a turbo machine, and we will take some examples and we'll proceed. Okay. So now we will take attendance. Don't leave. We will take attendance. We'll be maintaining attendance record. Okay. Just wait. We'll take attendance. Okay, students. Now, those who have joined late, we can see who has joined late. So whatever it may be, from tomorrow onwards, you make it a point that you attend classes in time. So now what you have to do is type in the chat box. Type in the chat box your name, your USN and division. Your name, USN and division. Type in the chat box your name, format your name, USN and division.